Hello, my name is Jim DeMattis, and I'm the owner of Pazzo Gelato Cafe, which is located on Route 114 in North Andover in the Eaglewood Shops. Pazzo was actually a name created by my wife, Karen. It has a dual meaning. It means crazy in Italian in a funny way. And my wife said that this was her husband's crazy idea, and also that I was so crazy about gelato, so that's the dual meaning behind Pazzo. I was practicing law for 17 years, and I had become disenchanted with it, and so I decided to go back to cooking school nights. And once I graduated from cooking school, I was trying to develop a concept, and I had different concepts bouncing around in my head. And I was experimenting with ice cream at home, making homemade ice cream. For Christmas, my wife and my daughter bought me a small book from Barnes & Noble that was entitled Gelato. And I started reading the recipes and just reading the whole history about gelato and became very intrigued by it. And then we happened to go down to Florida to visit my parents over that vacation. And we were in Sarasota, and we ran into a little hole-in-the-wall gelato shop, and I went in, and I had never had gelato before. And the minute I tasted it, I just fell in love with it and knew that that's what I wanted to do, and so I began doing research on it. Gelato is actually the Italian version of ice cream, and it predates ice cream as we know it by about 250 or 300 years. So gelato, most people agree, was invented in Florence in the 1500s during the Renaissance. And the three main differences between gelato and what we call American ice cream are that gelato has a much lower fat content. It's made mostly from whole milk rather than from heavy cream. So it has a content varying anywhere between 5% and 9% versus 16% for a super premium American ice cream. Well, we make all of our gelato from scratch using a method called hot process, which means we take the fresh milk that we get from a local dairy. I put it into a hot process machine. I put all natural ingredients into it, sugars, skim milk powder, natural stabilizers, and the machine heats that entire batch up to a certain temperature and then cools it and ages it overnight. Most other gelato shops use a premixed powder that they mix with milk. It's a process known as cold process because there's no heating involved in it, and they simply mix it with milk, put it into the freezer, and freeze it, and it's a much faster process. Ours is a much more labor-intensive process. So we made one of our most popular flavors, which is a banana chocolate caramel gelato. So we drew some of the white base that I made last night and aged overnight, and then we added fresh bananas to it and a little bit of sugar, and then blended it together and then froze it. And then what I do is extract half of the frozen mixture into the gelato pan, and then I pour what's called stracciatella, which is the Italian version of chocolate chip, over half the pan. And it's in a liquid form, and once it hits the gelato, it actually hardens and becomes these little shards of chocolate. And then I extract the rest of the pan out. I put some more stracciatella on top, and then we top it off with a salted caramel. So the coffee drink that we had was a traditional Italian drink called an affogato, and what it is a double shot of espresso on top of a scoop of gelato. Well, we have our flavors of gelato. We have different variations. We make sundaes out of them, we make milkshakes out of them, we make the ice cream sandwich that we have here in front of us. We make ice cream cakes from them. We also have coffee drinks with a specially roasted bean that we get fresh roasted every week from a shop up in Maine. And then we also have fresh baked goods that we make here from scratch on the premises. And we also make paninis. Sorbetto is completely dairy-free, and it's completely vegan the way I make it. So it's suitable for anyone with dairy allergies, people who don't want to have any animal byproducts, and it's also fat-free. So it's a nice alternative for people who don't want to have something with dairy in it or want something that's fat-free, and it's made with all real fruits. Gelato obviously contains dairy, and so it has a fat content within it. And then it has different flavors to it that are added, chocolates or nut flavors or toppings and things like that. We always have espresso, we always have a vanilla bean, we always have dark chocolate. Typically we always have the banana chocolate caramel. We always have a chocolate sorbet, we always have a lemon sorbet. We always have some version of a pineapple sorbet. The 4 sorbet changes frequently, that's the one that I experiment with a lot. So today it happens to be strawberry. Yesterday it was called a triple trio sorbet, which was a mango, passion fruit, and guava. And then the other flavors change all the time. We've done something as exotic as an avocado gelato. Well, we take our fresh baked cookies. In this case, we took our chocolate chunk cookie and we put 3 scoops of gelato in them. And then we close the cookie up. This happens to be the caramel sea salt gelato. And then we put a spoon in case the customer wants to scoop out some of the gelato and eat it. My daughter Helen actually invents a lot of the flavors, and her favorite one is called Mintastic. So I was making a mint gelato with chocolate chip, and she said, "Dad, you have to make this more fantastic. And I want you to get mint truffle cups." So I found a chocolate truffle cup that was filled with mint, and we added that into the mint gelato with the chocolate chip, and she said, "You're going to call it Mintastic." I think the most satisfying part is, and I think this is true probably of every chef, is that when you have a customer come in and try something that you made with your hands and you see the big smile on their face from something that you made from scratch.